Hello, everybody. David Geisler, co-host of another Zelda podcast here at the Video Game Summit, and I am with a guest, Blake Packard.
Hello,
Blake. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm very excited. I'm excellent. So Blake here, if I may, audience, just started chatting with us about our show. He came right around the corner and said, "Oh, how does this Zelda podcast? How does it work?" You know, we talked about it a little bit. And if I may, Blake,
I had a motive.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
You didn't know at first, but
It was-
here I am.
Well, anyway,
Free advertising.
Blake says, "Oh, give me a second." Runs around the corner, comes back, and you basically said, "Here, I have some books, some notebooks, and this has the Master Sword on it. It looks like maybe it's the Ocarina of Time, maybe it's a Link to the Past."
Yeah, I
with the
tried
stones.
to do with that painting. You know, I tried to with this one as well. Just kind of general Zelda.
General Zelda.
This one I actually painted this one before the Breath of the Wild, and I had it at a couple of conventions. And of course, Breath of the Wild drops. Before that, I'm thinking like, wouldn't it be great if Zelda was like open world and you just experience like the majesty of just everything you can just go to. I want to go there and I want to go there.
Yeah.
And of course, that's what they made. But
I love it. And so I followed you to your booth and discovered that you had all this amazing Zelda art, and maybe you did have a motive. If you did, good on you, because I was like, we're doing video. We've never done video before. This is like the perfect opportunity to talk about someone's artwork. And so this piece here, I hope I didn't pressure you. I was kind of like, take it off your wall. Let's bring it to our
it's
booth.
just fine.
That's okay.
It travels a lot. Otherwise, it would just be sitting over my computer at home, just collecting dust.
I
So
see.
it's good. It's good that it travels.
I love this piece. It's clearly Ocarina-esque, but
Sure.
then like the way the landscape is depicted, it's very Breath of the Wild. You're right. So I hate to ask this question. I feel like it's almost an ignorant question, but how long does it take for you to put something like this together?
Yeah, you know what? That's usually the first question I get.
Yeah.
And I'd say that it really comes down to me taking that time. I usually give a generalized answer of 2 months.
Yeah.
But what that means is that, hey, I'm home from work. I got a couple, maybe an hour or two.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm a little hyped up on some coffee. And I can go ahead and put in a few hours. I'll feel miserable the next morning, but at least, sometimes I look at this, I'm like, man, it was worth it.
Absolutely.
It was worth it just finishing it, just getting it done. I feel more motivated sometimes to start something new. There are a couple of times where I'm about a month in and there's the slog of like, I gotta finish it, or I'm starting to not like certain things. I'm like, man, what am I
Do you
gonna
course
do?
correct, or you just push through, or what do you do?
So with this, these are oil on canvas, and I really haven't used oils in a long time. As far as I didn't really learn oils.
Right.
It was a material that I picked up. I had been doing some watercoloring, and the thing with watercolor is that it's you can't really make a mistake. You can cheat it by adding some acrylic, but you don't want to tell people you did that.
I see.
Oils, you can paint over things. I touched
Yeah.
it, which is fine. I'm the artist. I
You're okay.
I get to touch it.
I know my heart skipped a bit.
So you can kind of paint over things, correct things. Actually, I had a good friend of mine. Shout out to Johnny. She's actually raises horses. I was doing the horse as the anatomy that I was sort of making up or taking some references of.
Yeah.
And then she was like, no, you got to fix that. Got to fix that. Got to fix that.
Like the
and that's
musculature?
fine. Yeah, and that's fine as far as using oils. You can get back and go ahead and repaint it. The great thing, too, is I can kind of bring in more and more references as I'm painting. This doesn't look like it's too far back, so I can kind of use a dry brush and push it back more because it was a little too bright green. Things like that. You can use oils to kind of really work with it and push and pull things to make them either more in the foreground, more in the background, or if there's things I just want to simply correct, I just repaint over it. They don't get too heavy. There's a few spots where you can see a few thickness.
Oh, I do see that. Yeah.
Very well, they could have been places where I'm recorrecting and changing things.
I see. And so this is certainly not the only Zelda piece you painted. I saw a few more and also some prints back there. Do you have a website or anything that people can find you
Yeah,
at?
absolutely. If you want to go to blakepackard.com, you will see a couple more paintings. Just give me a little while and you'll actually see all of them.
That's cool. And this is your first time at the Video Game Summit, I'm going to guess.
Yes, it is. So I've never been to a video game convention, so I'm actually pretty excited.
Oh, well, welcome.
Yeah, this is awesome. So just looking around, it's like, man, this is so much fun. It's fun, actually. I never saw a lot of this stuff in person. I would just read video game magazines all the time.
Right.
I was subscribed to like Nintendo Power and GamePro, and I would just read about everything before the internet. Just that's all I got was just reading.
Yep.
I had a Nintendo and the video store down the street to rent some stuff, but it's just cool to see this kind of stuff in person.
This is our second year here. We were the new guys, the new folks last year, and we were very nervous and very smitten and all of that. You know what I mean? And it's so fun to be back as a second year, for the second year, and you feel so many. This might sound weird, but it's like you come back and you have all these friends. There were the people that were here last year, or the people that ran the event, or people that run other events, and people are saying hi to. Last year we were just meeting everyone, perhaps like you are this year.
Yeah, at least you know that there's a shared interest.
Yes.
You can talk to anybody here about video games, of course.
A bit of a community is what starts happening. It's really cool.
Yeah, usually I would show these at comic book conventions, which they do well. But
I can see that
there's clearly overlap, but you don't always know if you're talking to somebody who's a fan of A, video games. I'm sure they are, but B, the subject matter that you have here.
Right.
Yeah, my original intention was to kind of do games that I remember as a kid, like classic games as classic paintings. So that was also another reason why to stick with oil painting and not go digital or do any other sort of medium.
Well, man, so there's a lot of people, a lot of fantastic artists out there that will, paint with a Wacom tablet or something and paint digitally that way. But it is, and I've seen a lot of those kinds of things. I even own some prints from friends and things that have done that. But I have to tell you, for me, the experience of seeing the actual oil piece and the other pieces you have back at your booth.
Sure.
It's a different thing. It's a different level. It really is. It's so impressive and exciting to see nerd art and video game art and all that kind of stuff done in such a classic mentality,
Sure. Yeah. For me, I still consider it very much a part of fan art. I am a fan of this. And for me, it was trying to express it in a different way than what I haven't seen this.
Yeah.
At least I haven't. I'm sure someone else is, but I just hadn't seen it. And I thought, kind of giving myself a bit of a challenge. I've been involved with art my whole life. My day job, I do artwork. But for me, it's I've always wanted to push myself to be like those illustrators, those artists that I knew as a kid who did comic books. Even looking at a lot of these covers of these video games, I don't know who did them.
Right.
But I enjoy them. And a lot of them, they look great. And some of them were even oil paintings.
You're absolutely right.
That they were created on canvas. And so those kind of things really inspired me. And like I said, challenged me to want to do that. If I'm going to do fan art, I want to do it like this.
Go all the way. Very exciting. Well, I hope some people find you over at BlakePackard.com. I hope some people find you today. I think you sold a few pieces already. You mentioned, you were like, there was a Zelda one that I was kind of interested in. You're like, that one's sold already. But so cool. I wonder if, I'm just very taken by it. I hope even maybe our show and you have a bit of a future together or something.
Sure, that'd be excellent. Yeah. It is great to sell a painting, but sometimes, they are kind of like a baby to me. So it's hard to give them up. Hard to let them go. But hopefully they're in a good place. Whoever, if you're watching this and you own the other Zelda piece, just take really good care of it.
I'm sure people will. Blake, it was a pleasure.
Great to meet you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course.